Jason Carl. Jason Carl. Jason Carl.
Let's tell a vampire story.
Hi, family. We here at McStabber Studios take the emotional well-being of our viewers very seriously. And due to the personal horror nature of Vampire the Masquerade, some of the content of our streams could cause some strong emotional responses. If you feel like that has happened to you during any of our streams, take a moment, take a break, mute the stream, or just skip an episode. Or if you decide that you want to sit through it and watch it, we are available in chat to talk you through it if you need that. Ultimately, we want you to take care of yourself. Do what you feel like you need. Thank you for joining us on this dark journey, and we hope you enjoy this episode of DC by Night, Vengeance Waits.
Good evening, everyone. It's your boy Twitch again, bringing you the Kindred news. Up in Vancouver, it seems there was a karaoke night that got a little steamy. I wonder what's going on up there. And over in DC, the coterie seemed to have nice little 2-month time span of not much going on. Well, except for getting fired as Primogen. I wonder what's gonna happen now. This week's episode is brought to you by Tamshu and the Black Death Chronicles. Get you some of that coming in May.
A darkness spreads across this land. I cannot see the end of your journey, only distant places. The cards foretell of darker times that lay ahead. The power of the gods to turn the wheels of time has fallen into the grasp of dark forces. They have cast their eye upon the world to be taken for their own. The gates of hell themselves have been torn open. Vile creatures flow in from beyond. I see changes coming.
What will you become, my sweet, sweet child?
Before there was light, there was darkness. Before there was order, there was chaos. An endless war between the gods and their enemies. A war the gods could not win. Till a champion arose, wielding a weapon of otherworldly power. The war was won, the enemy banished, but the weapon was shattered, its fragments scattered across the new-formed world. Now, thousands of years later, many seek the fragments of that long-lost weapon. Among them, our 5 brave heroes. The druid, troubled by dreams and his own temper. The blacksmith turned warrior in search of revenge. The raider, determined to protect her friends and her growing family. The traveller from a distant land, guardian of those down on their luck. And the girl willing to sell her soul for a taste of adventure. Their hunt will take them to distant and dangerous lands, far beyond the borders of Ishval.
Good evening and welcome to DC by Night Vengeance Waits Vignettes. Tonight's vignette is a series of 2 different scenes, the first of which is, of course, when occurs right before the Primogen Council was dissolved. This vignette involves Lily meeting with Angelique, Ivan, and Grigori, and then her visit to Wayland, who's still in a guest a Vitel. So please enjoy. For this scene, I'm, of course, the storyteller, as always, Shanky McStabber.
And I'm Wayland, Shanky's wife, and I'm playing Lily Sanger, currently still Primogen of Clan Toreador.
And to set the scene, Lily has asked for Angelique, Ivan, and Grigori to come see her at her club.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where this event unfurls, with Lily in her conference room and Angelique, Grigori, and Ivan having arrived.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming so quickly. I appreciate it. I wanted to inform you of some things that all three of you would be interested in.
And Angelique just kind of cocks her head, and Ivan goes, "Tell."
The sheriff is gunning for you. All of you.
What makes you say this? This is Ivan speaking.
Well, he knows, and I look at Grigori, that you are anti-tribu.
Grigori goes, I consider myself more independent, but I guess Clan Shamir doesn't really acknowledge independence, do they?
No, they don't. And basically, I was able to overhear a conversation he had not long ago during True Death's performance about you three. He's not necessarily going to attack you right now, but he's definitely got a watchful eye on all three of you, so be careful.
And Ivan goes, I mean, it's art, right? I mean, I've seen he's not the same and not to trust him, but...
Did you notice I didn't call him that?
Well...
Whatever that is, it's not an art that any of us know. He is very, very... almost obsessive about traditions now.
And Angelique goes, but I should be safe. I'm a Toreador. I'm not Anarch, right?
Angelique, your temper has preceded you at times.
Ivan laughs at that and gets a dirty look from Angelique. She got you there. And Grigori goes, well, I thank you for warning us. But...
Yes, just wanted to put that in your ear so that you are aware, because when I heard that, I'm like, okay, let me notify you guys so that you can stay on your P's and Q's. Also, Angelique, you requested something of me at the clan meeting.
Angelique nods.
I thought it would be wise to inform you all that there may be an opportunity soon. Are your brothers aware?
Oh, they're informed. They know the plan.
Good. Okay, so things are heating up between the Black Spiral Dancers and us. They are associated with a gangrel named Malik. It's looking like it may end up being all-out war, with the Bone Gnars assisting us. I am sure Velois will be involved.
And Grigori goes, so your hope is to, in the confusion, have us deal with him?
Yes.
It could be done.
And advice, he tends to wear warded garments.
Well, Grigori goes, don't we all?
Indeed, but I know especially one of his jackets is known to be warded against Kindred. So just to be aware. I figured I'd give you all the information I have.
They haven't made a ward yet that stops enough bullets or stake.
That is true.
And with what I've got, I'm not that worried about it.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Ivan, I do think Malik would be of particular interest to you.
He's the one who led that Black Spiral attack at Smithsonian, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm going to want to be involved in that anyway.
Good. I will not shed any tears at all. He killed my sire. So
he gets around, don't he?
Yes, and he's been gunning for me ever since. So, if you get a chance to take him out, go for it. And I might owe you one.
We'll have to see it. This is Ivan Gordon speaking at the moment. My primary focus is going to, of course, be what we discussed with Angelique about
of course.
proper targets, but
Of course, but I thought that one might be of personal interest to you.
that one could be useful.
And I take out the feather, and I show it to Grigori, and I'm like, what can you do with a feather from a gangrel that likes to turn into an owl?
Well, there's a few things I could do. I'm not exactly going to share it, but
Of course.
it could be useful.
Have at it. Have fun.
And he takes it, and he tucks it into his shirt.
Yes, one of my more dangerous acquaintances scared him off one night when he was trying to wait for me to be alone.
And Grigori goes, my contacts tell me that acquaintance might be Lord Vitel.
Indeed.
Far be it from me to question that one.
He's actually helping with the investigation in Wayland's haven being firebombed.
And Ivan elbows Grigori and says, I knew it, told you. That's the Oblivion, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. He's got some new tricks. His eyes are everywhere.
Yeah, I bet.
But...
And Angelique goes, he was a bastard, but I hold no ill will towards him. He never did
same.
anything wrong to me, no more than, the rest of everybody.
Same.
And Ivan goes, he let me live here for years in his city as not part of his court, just, to do my thing. That's fine.
Okay. I did get some information on who was involved with the fire.
Anyone we know?
2 thin bloods were seen running from the scene, and one that might be loosely associated, I don't know. Let's just say it happened an hour before sundown.
Grigori goes, I'd be interested to know if you find out who it was.
I'd be interested to know who it was, too, because they didn't make it.
Nobody I've heard.
Okay.
But...
Well, it's honestly the one that became ash isn't important. They got destroyed. I'm going to be focusing on the Thin Bloods.
And Ivan looks over and goes, it's not like you're friends with everyone, right? Grigori goes, no, I'm not.
None of us are, as much as we try. So if you want to further investigate that, you can have at it. It's of little importance to me at this point. But I will be focusing on the Thin Blood aspect because those 2 ran away.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about the Thin Bloods or anything.
No.
So I don't know.
That's okay. I have my own resources for that.
Okay, well.
So, that's all I really had to share with you all this evening. Is there anything that you need me to be aware of?
Angelique's like, I mean, not really. Not that I know of. And then Ivan goes, I mean, Victoria is acting weird as usual, but I guess you don't need to know about, her weirdness. I don't have anything.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you all coming by, and I just wanted to, like I said, pass off the warning and give you some updates on our mutually beneficial projects.
And Ivan nods. We appreciate the warning. And it's funny because in each time you've been around him, it's been a different person who's taken
the lead.
Mm-hmm. Once it was Angelique, once it was Ivan, once it was Grigori.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not sure there's a pattern yet, but...
Oh, I'm paying attention to it.
Well, if there's nothing else, then I guess.
I actually have plans that I need to leave for, but you guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for the warning.
Yep, and Thomas will see you out.
Okay, and then Thomas escorts him out. And it's not long after that a A limo, black limo, pulls out up front.
Who's driving it?
You don't know who's driving it until you go out to it.
Okay, well, I will.
But you're expecting it.
I'm expecting it, so I will walk out and look and see who's driving it.
When you come out, a man you've never seen before, nondescript man, tall, dark hair. He's wearing an actual chauffeur's outfit.
Okay, perfect.
He opens the door to let you into the back seat.
So long as it's not Maniacal Jack to catch me on city cameras. So
no, it is not.
Good, because that would have been a problem.
Yep. And when you get in and he rolls down the privacy, I've been told I'm taking you to the Lord Baltimore Hotel in Baltimore.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
And he closes up the window. And you don't bring anyone with you, of course.
No.
And he begins to drive to Baltimore.
Okay.
And it's a roll wits awareness.
Oh, wits awareness. Okay.
Well, you got to roll wits awareness.
Are we continuing with this?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to continue right through because it's going to be the same.
Okay.
One scene after the other. It's the same night.
Okay, just double checking.
She wasn't sure if we were going to split it into 2 vignettes or not, but we're not.
I thought we were going to split it into 2 vignettes.
No, we can do it as one.
I will add 1 hunger die for now.
Okay.
So. Yep, okay. I got 4.
4? Okay. You don't appear to see anybody following you.
Okay.
It's at this hour. I mean, it still takes a half hour to get to Baltimore, but that's not a long trip to get to Baltimore at night.
Okay. And I'm going to do Sense the Unseen.
Okay.
Four, 5, 6.
Okay. And you don't see anything out of the ordinary for you. I mean, you pass spirits and ghosts, and
no one's in the car with me?
Nobody's in the car with you.
Okay.
The ride out to Baltimore is pretty uneventful.
Good.
You're taken to the Lord Baltimore Hotel. Now, the hotel itself it's had better years, but recently, within the past decade or so, it appears to have been being remodeled.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows its age, but it's been modernized quite a bit. And when you arrive there, the chauffeur reaches and hands you an envelope.
Okay.
I was instructed to give you this and to wait until you come back out to return you to DC.
Thank you. I also have a box with me.
Okay.
Inside is 24 black roses.
Okay.
So I walk inside the lobby and open the envelope.
Okay, and the envelope has a
key card?
A suite key.
Oh.
That you can use to access the elevator to go up to the top level of the building.
Okay.
Which is where the largest suite is located.
Mm-hmm. Okay, up to the penthouse we go.
And again, you can tell that this is an older hotel, and it has a large history. It's a very in DC or in Baltimore, it's a prominent history. Mm-hmm. It's been modernized a bit, but it still kept that old feel. The elevator.
There's gilding and
right. And the elevator's not a modern elevator, but it's a nice place.
Good.
And when you get to the top floor, of course, you put your key in to go to the penthouse level. And when you arrive up there, the door opens, and you're actually in a suite.
Okay.
And reclining in front of you is Vitel.
Interesting.
Good evening.
Good
Lily
evening.
Sanger.
Good evening, Lord Vitel.
You will find him over there in those suites.
Thank you.
I have business to attend. I will leave you.
Appreciate it. I won't disturb you.
And he goes actually over to the elevator as you get off it and gets on it to ride back down.
Okay.
Leaving you alone with Wayland.
Okay, so I go into the suite.
And when you open it, you see actually the man you've been looking for, Wayland. He looks healthy for him. I mean, he still looks dead, like all kids.
Of course.
But he's not burnt. He's actually dressed in he's not in a tuxedo or a suit, but he's fashionably dressed. And when you come in the room, he jumps up and immediately runs over to you. Lily, He told me you were coming.
Yes, of course.
And he doesn't give me roses.
That I brought plenty.
And he looks in there and he just grins.
To charm all the ladies of Baltimore, of course.
Well, I mean, I do have a reputation. And
exactly.
He doesn't keep me locked in here every night, at least, so...
That's good. That's good.
So, I don't even know where to start. I mean, Raphael's fine.
Yes. I took him in. He's fine. He healed. He is in process of being educated for presentation.
I mean, I've gotten bits and pieces about what's going on in DC, but not much. Vitel doesn't tell me much. I mean, he lets me, I only catch what I catch to other people. I mean...
Well, I have kept Raphael safe.
He wanted me to make sure that I explained to you that I'm not, like, locked up all the time. I go to events with him.
Good.
It seems kind of odd to be seen with him in Baltimore. I'm not sure how that's going to play out when that gets around, but, I mean, I'm at least getting to go places. Please don't suggest I take off with you. It's
I won't.
As much as I'd want to. He's made it quite clear what the penalties for that would be. And I'm
sure he threatened me, Raphael, Angelique, and everyone else that he could probably think of.
And oddly enough, not me. I think he said that he would leave me to live.
To live with it.
With what I'd caused to happen.
Yeah.
Never liked that man.
He grabbed you to get his claws into me.
I'm sorry.
Wayland, if you are going by Wayland still, because this is your opportunity to remake yourself if you so choose.
He grins a bit, a little bit of chagrin. He goes, I mean, I'm still Wayland. But I'm also Renee.
Oh, interesting.
It's difficult to explain, but...
A reconciliation?
You could call it that. It's... An understanding has been reached. I'm not going to call it a full reconciliation yet, but we are of one mind again.
Good.
But there's still... You know, sometimes you talk to yourself, and I'm still talking to myself, I guess you could say. It's an odd
Give
situation.
it time. You have just been through a traumatic experience.
You don't want to know what it's like to travel with that man on the other side.
No, I don't. It's uncomfortable enough just being around him when he has the shroud up.
Being trapped on the far side, I guess it puts things in perspective. I mean, I wasn't in much condition to do much, but do you know that the dead are all over the place on the other side of the... I mean, I guess they called it the veil, but on the shroud is really a term he used more than veil, but he said that it's... Do you realize that there's like a whole world on that other side?
I believe it.
And they don't like us very much.
Of course, we're supposed to be dead.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we are souls they didn't get to have.
Yeah. Yeah, it puts things in a different perspective.
I'm sure it does. So what new perspective do you have?
That this whole thing about Wayland and Renee was just my way of escaping.
Indeed.
What I'd done and what I needed to do, and it matters little in the end, because...
Indeed.
Entropy wins. And it's obvious. But
I want you to understand something. Your pride caused this.
And a single blood tear starts to leak. Sorry I disappointed you.
It's forgiven.
I understand. I should have left town when you told me, or at least
Hid out.
hid out. Vitel's told me who did
knowing what I did to save you and Raphael, you should not have stayed in that haven.
Vitel's told me who was behind the burning.
Yes.
He felt it. Actually, I think he felt it amusing. He thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's told me everything, that you've helped him out in return for, well, I guess for me being here.
Indeed, and also for your return once I take care of some things.
He's told me that too, that it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
But can we trust him?
Well, my motto is generally trust no one, but I will say that I don't believe he's in the habit of reneging on deals made. Like our prince.
He had even when he was running DC, he had a reputation for his word.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to examine, as they say, the contract very closely.
And I have.
Because there are always loopholes.
Just like I made him ensure he would not bond you.
Yeah. Speaking of which.
Has anyone tried?
No, actually. They haven't.
Oh, I'm impressed, because the way he worded it made it sound like he wouldn't, but someone else might.
He told me he wouldn't do it. He told me why.
That I asked?
No. That it forces me to behave like a good little boy. Because if I don't do what he says, he will hurt you. And I don't want to hurt you. I don't want you to be hurt. And he told me it's the bond. And it's hard. I mean, how do you tell which one it is or not, right? But
I would like for you to take a drink to ensure your protection while you are in his custody. When you are released, I will no longer make you drink.
And he actually takes a drink.
Good.
Make a rouse check.
Okay. I failed, so I get a little hungry.
You hear her voice in your head. Smoothness and the charm was always an act. Don't let him. He doesn't deserve to drink. You should make him lick your boots for what he's put you through. For compromising you.
I just ignore her. I run shit my way.
And look what it's gotten you.
And I say in my head, enough to nail a prince is what it's gotten me.
And then you hear just almost half-crazed laughter. It's one you've heard her do when she was in the throes of wanting her fix.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of quiets down a bit.
And so after he's done, and I say, I want you to take this time that you're with Vitel. Learn from him.
Isn't it? Learn what? He's not teaching.
You don't have to get him to teach you. Observe him. See how he leads. See how he manipulates others. Pay attention. That man has been around longer than you and I can imagine. He lost DC twice. Once, supposedly, he was killed. But he came back.
Oh, so this goes back to my pride got me in trouble.
You're going to have to learn from him to ensure your survival.
Don't wallow in the pity and cut loose when I need to. I know that's the lesson here. I know it is, because I know what you're saying. He lost.
He lost everything twice.
Well, second time he just walked away.
He walked away because he realized that the Camarilla was going to kill him for it again.
Okay, I understand.
And instead of be killed, he gave up his property and moved on.
But you want me to learn from... He's a monster, but...
We're all monsters, Wayland. You can be politically astute without being politically ambitious.
mean, yeah, okay, I can see your point. I can see it. I just don't, don't know what I'm going to do. When this is all done, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, we lost the club.
That can be rebuilt.
But
darling, I could have that.
Should I rebuild it?
And that's up to you. But between what Raphael's told me of your two's combined resources and mine, it could be rebuilt in 2 months tops.
Well,
it's just property.
Back, as you said, the pride. What has kept me in? I mean, I don't want to leave you. But what keeps me in DC?
We will see how you feel when I allow the bond to wear off when you return.
So tell me, I mean, is it as bad as he said about what's going on in DC? He's been quite jovial about it.
Oh, I'm sure he's finding it quite amusing. Wayland, DC has been a cesspool since the night I walked into it.
He thinks it's amusing that the rat couldn't, do anything. He couldn't manage shit. And he's even made jokes about it that, Nathan was the brains behind that organization.
Nathan was the brains behind the organization, and the moment Vital took him, Stanford started to unravel.
Yeah, well.
And it's bad. Basically, once he did what he did to your club, I gathered Clan Toreador together, united us in an offensive against the prince. We have been systematically swaying every kindred we can talk to against him.
Be careful.
Oh, I am always careful.
If you bomb me...
Oh, he can try. I have stepped up security to 24/7 rotations, and I have a small army. He can try.
If I lost you and Raphael, I wouldn't know what to do.
You won't.
But he's fine, right?
He is fine. He is fine. He keeps talking about wanting to pour one out.
Okay, yeah. That was a joke I made one time. One time, and it was like 10 years ago where I'd made a joke that, don't worry, we could always pour out one of our homies.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I think the poor boy has a little crush on me.
I mean, who doesn't? But that could be the bond talking. It's hard to tell.
It very well could be, and I don't trust it until you are of your own mind and not inclined to please me. Because I know you're a con man.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as a con man.
Oh,
I am more of a serial charmer.
Uh-huh.
And he... it's...
And I'm a serial monogamous, so, those two don't usually get along.
It's part of the performance, you see. I mean, that's...
I know.
When you have a stage presence, you just take that performance the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have kept every rose you've ever given me. Because even if it was just the charm, it was still sweet.
That's more than I can say for most people I've known. And how long does Lily plan to stay here?
She'll stay until probably about...
Because it took a half hour to get here.
Yeah, she'll stay probably until about 3 hours to dawn.
Okay. So
talking.
The night goes on and the two of you talk. And I'm sure you drive home your lesson about watch and learn from Vital.
Mm-hmm.
And next time he's told to go to ground,
fucking pay attention.
Do what he was told.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's not going to be politically minded and politically astute at the time, you should watch those that are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where we'll end this scene.
Okay.
With Lily finally getting to see that Raphael or that Wayland has not been kept prisoner. Mm-hmm. of any physical chains.
No, he's treated fairly well considering everything.
And he gets to go out to events with Vitel, which could cause problems down the line, honestly, for Wayland.
Yeah, well, we have a thin blood that can change everything.
Right.
And later on, I'll be able to get masks for him, too.
That's where I think we'll win this vignette. And I'd like to thank Lily, of course, for doing this one. This is one she's been wanting to take care of.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
And have a good night. This next vignette occurs shortly after the Primogen Council was dissolved and Quartermain left the city. And this vignette involves Natalie, True Deaf, and Locke, and a meeting they've been wanting to have to discuss the Thin Bloods in the city. For this vignette, it is a meeting between 3 of the Kindred of DC. And of course, for this, I am Shanky McStabber, the storyteller.
And I am Katie. I play Locke.
And I am Michelle. I play Natalie, former Toreador Whip.
I'm Don. I play True Deaf, Ventru, Entertainer.
Extraordinaire.
Awesome.
The scene starts off outside of Purgatory in Adams Morgan, which is, of course, the bar that Locke is now owner and proprietor of. And Natalie has asked True Deaf, actually, it starts off with True Deaf's bus, where Natalie has arranged to meet with True Deaf while they head over to Purgatory, I would assume.
Yep.
If the conversation goes that way. And I'm going to leave it with Natalie and True Deaf in the tour bus.
So I don't know how it's set up, but you get a knock on the door if you are not already expecting me.
The door opens. And you see an older man sitting in the driver's seat, not True Deaf.
Natalie goes, is True Deaf here? Yeah, he's expecting me.
He's in the back.
Great. So she gets on. For storyteller purposes, I still have everything I normally would have watching after me.
Of course.
Right. So she gets up, she goes down the tour bus, she takes a look around because that's
so the first little area looks like a standard tour bus. But when you get to the door and you open it, it doesn't look like the rest of a tour bus. It has a bed that looks kind of like a cot and a full working blood lab.
Impressive.
You gotta know your business.
Yes, I see that you do, which is actually why I'm here. Although, boarding your tour bus is an interesting look that I'm willing to take on.
We can talk business here. People don't come on this tour bus and leave usually.
Excellent. Hopefully I'm an exception.
We'll see.
Have you heard what's happened with the Primogen Council? I assume you have.
Rumors have their way of getting out.
Ah, yes. I hope you got my message. I know the former temporary whip of the Ventru clan was supposed to pass my message along to you as well in case you had left town. But, since you're here, we have things to discuss. So, I have a question. And I think we might be of one mind, but I need to know how much we might be listened to here.
It's pretty secure. We're actually moving.
Excellent. So, how do you feel about what happened in Providence with Stanford?
The tower forgives, the Ventru do not.
Excellent. Neither do the Toreador.
So what do you want to do about that? I mean...
I have reason to believe that Stanford is using Thin Bloods as his tool of choice at the moment, as well as his family. And I find this incredibly inconvenient, because I also use Thin Bloods.
How is he using the Thin Bloods that you think?
If you were going to set fire during daylight hours, how would you do it?
How would I do it? I'd hire people that nobody could associate with me.
Right, but I have a very good sense that it is a Thin Blood group he is using.
Might be this one. And he shows the baggie with the Thin Blood alchemy drug.
The drop?
Yeah.
Yes. So, but I don't particularly care which thin bloods he's using or how he's using them, just that he is using them.
Who it is might mean how organized they are.
True, but if we could put a better offer for all thin bloods on the street, it wouldn't matter.
Well, there's only one person in town who can do that.
Exactly. But
And Mallory's gone, so I guess we'll have to talk to Locke.
I've already arranged a meeting at Purgatory, but I wanted to make sure that you might be interested in my proposition, since it would also need funding, not that I'm unwilling to spend my own coin on it.
You seem far from destitute, but depending on if the investment's worth it, I needed to see Purgatory anyway.
Excellent. I was thinking a little less noticeable than the Succubus Club. Perhaps some more lowbrow entertainment spots that we could garner.
I have people on my label.
Excellent. Because a few well-timed appearances, and we will have customers.
Mm-hmm. So did you drive here, or...?
My Google drove me here, but if you're offering, I won't say no.
Well, I'm just saying, I think if you want to be low-key, this, and he gestures to the bus, is quite the opposite.
Yes, and my car is a car, though admittedly, I tried to slum it, and I'm not really... I got the leather jacket, and I feel very bruja.
It's okay, it's just a paint job.
True. Anyways, Purgatory would be a next step?
Yeah, let's go ahead and he'll have the driver loop back around to her car.
Okay.
Drop them off and have the tour bus just rolling around DC doing whatever it looks like you normally would do.
For rolling around the Beltway, just doing loops around the Beltway. That's a one big circle around DC, and you can drive on it until you run out of gas.
And that's basically what his bus just kind of drives around DC doing, stopping at random clubs. People get off, people get on.
Yep.
Yeah. Lucian's and Natalie's car is a nice car, but it's a nondescript car in terms of it's black. It's nothing noticeable from the outside.
It's very DC, by the way. All nice generic black cars.
Exactly.
Lots of them.
And when he gets in the car, he does show her that he is armed. He's like, just so you know, in case it bothers you.
Excellent. So is Lucian.
Sometimes things can't be handled by words, unfortunately.
True.
Lucian asks, he asked for directions where you're going, which you've already told him, but he didn't know for sure this is...
Yes.
It was conditional.
Yes. Lucian, we will be going to Purgatory, and this is True Death, so if you could notify our associates, there's one more of us for the evening.
I have gone all blurry. Blurry fucking thing.
There you go.
Better.
Hello?
There. Yeah, the beauty gurus taught me that on YouTube.
So, there's not much more to say. Okay. We would just go to Purgatory.
And you ride over to
talk to you about your art.
Now, this is the first time either one of you have been to Purgatory.
Yes.
Correct.
It's an oddity inside the section of town that they're in. You come into a hipster area. It really is, except for as you pull up to a bar that has a giant neon sign of Purgatory, it's covered with Harley Davidsons all out front, just lined up. There's about 10 of them parked out front tonight. And the decor of it from the outside is anything but hipster bar. I'm not sure if Locke has put out any signs yet that say stuff like no hipsters allowed, but it's a definite vibe.
You know what? It's, there's probably a few rounds that have been shot into it at some indeterminate time that were never fixed, quite pointedly.
And there are two rather big guys sitting or leaning against the building out front smoking a cigarette. They're just relaxing. They're not at the door. They're kind of to the side because DC is unfortunately a no smoking inside bars kind of place. But there's two of them outside the bar smoking, just relaxing. And you can plainly see on the backs, they say Vikings across their leather jackets. And you get a little bit of an eyeball as you're coming in, but nothing at first.
Natalie says I could never underdress enough for these places.
And when you get inside, of course, the bar, it's got a decent crowd. There's maybe 10, 11 obvious bikers. There's a few others that are rough and tumble, you might say, that are in there. And, of course, behind the bar is somebody you recognize. Jack is tending bar tonight.
Natalie waves. Hello.
And he as soon as he puts his hand up, somebody comes over and starts ordering a drink, and he has to hustle off to fix some drinks. Locke, are you in the front of your bar tonight, or are you in the back? And where is Slinky?
Slinky is always in the back. Okay. Locke is in the back, more than likely. Jack, however, would know anytime he sees any kindred that he would at least alert somehow.
A button under the bar he hit as he walked by.
The bar, just a light comes on.
That a light comes on in the back area to let you know.
Natalie will immediately go and sit at the bar and order a beer.
True will actually activate Blush of Life and then order a beer.
Okay, roll your rouse check. Let's see what you get. Okay.
I'm not activating any such thing. I just have a beer.
Okay. And you sat there holding a beer. Now, you're getting the eyes from several of the people in there. And you can tell that you've drawn a lot of attention, but you do catch at some point Jack nodding his head to somebody in the corner, and then the tension level seems to ratchet down about 4 or 5 degrees. Because it's obvious there's a series of signals that have been worked out amongst Locke's patrons about whether to just run out certain individuals or people that they don't want in there.
I note every single person whose tension just went down when that happened.
All of them with the Viking jackets on.
Right. And then, but I'm also Toreador enough to assume that was going to happen anyway.
And I got to ask Locke, this is Swede in attendance tonight. Wired jaw and all.
Absolutely, drinking his beer through a straw.
Sitting under a giant jacket. It's a large man. Good 6.5 feet. He's sitting under a jacket that, if you're not mistaken, he might actually be able to wear. But it's pinned to the wall above him, where he's sitting drinking a beer through a straw as his jaw is all wired up.
Yeah, and Locke around this point will open the door, and she knows there's kindred, and she sees 2 kindred that she knows.
That's right, and I will let you guys have your scene.
And she's holding a mason jar.
Nice.
And she's like, "Come on back." Just motions you to bring your drinks.
I take the beer. I leave the beer immediately inside the door wherever I can, because I had never had any intention of drinking it.
Locke takes it.
And the back area is actually it's like a bar area, actually. But it's not really used much at the moment right now. It's obviously an area that is beyond VIP. It's, Locke's invite-only section of the bar.
Right.
And I will let you have your scenes.
And Locke is drinking something red.
It has chunks in it.
No, it has no chunks in it.
I mean, it depends on what you call chunks, I suppose.
Hello. You do not smell Vitae, though.
Locke's been working that particular game that Esmeralda told her about.
She's been practicing. Gonna learn this.
Natalie will say, "I promised I'd make a visit at some point, so I'm making good on that offer."
Well, welcome.
We never got to talk.
Shit's been busy. Getting unemployed all of a sudden, council's getting dissolved. It's been great. And there's also this big ass, not big, but it's a wolf, and they're all big.
It's small for a wolf, but still bigger than any damn dog you've ever seen.
I will be very polite to the wolf.
And Lana looks at Slinky and she's like, "They're not for eating." I'm so bad.
Okay, I won't eat these. And the wolf walks over to the corner and does that little circle and then lays down and he's got his head on his paws and she's just watching, hoping, waiting to eat somebody.
Later, sweetie, later.
Did she say that out loud, or
you don't hear the wolf? The wolf, all you hear are snarls, yips, a little bit of grumbling, and the noises. And Locke seems to make the same noises back, but it's obvious they understand each other.
It's cool. I just told her that you're not feeding.
It's a gangrel thing.
I was about to say, I'm glad we got that out of the way. And when we made this appointment before, you were the Hound, and I had a very brief and stellar, moment as the whip for the Toreador. But...
Yeah. Yeah, not only has the Primogen Council been dissolved, but I got fired.
That is...
I mean,
well,
with cause, or...
Oh, no. The sheriff was pissed because he didn't... I don't know if I want to say he didn't want to fire me because I was doing such a great job, but he didn't like being told what to do because it's normally his job to pick out the Hound. And he was told to fire me.
With just another tick mark against the guy in charge.
I mean, I wasn't getting paid either way, so...
Well, I can possibly help fix that, but are you still interested in what's happening with the Thin Bloods? Or has that been disbanded with your job?
Technically, they're not my problem anymore.
Would you like them to be your problem?
I still view them as there's probably a good word for this. Area of interest? There's still someone I am interested in making sure survive this whole fucking mess.
Excellent. And
they don't deal.
Huh?
Make sure they aren't the dealers.
He's holding up a little baggie with a pill you recognize. You've seen it before, long ago.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Which, in our... should probably trigger something because you just had an event happen about that pill that I don't think these two know that Quartermain's now gone.
Yeah. This one's gone. The one who made this. She hands it back to True. I'll give you that for free.
I have my own special affinity with the Thin Bloods, or at least a portion of them.
Really?
Yes. Admittedly, I don't think you'll particularly find it to your taste, but it's very much a Toreador type activity. I'm friends with them, they're friends with me, I don't have to watch so many things. Is it like a book club or something? Pardon?
Is it like a book club or something?
Sure, if in that book club I tell everyone what to read.
I mean, that sounds like a book club, yeah.
Yes. However, I am very much the type of person in charge of a book club who likes my toys where they are, thank you. And I don't like them broken.
Oh, okay. I'm following better now. Okay.
Yes. And Stanford annoys me because he likes my toys broken.
That is a problem.
Yeah, he broke a lot of ours.
Exactly. And so, in that, and please, I am admitting quite a bit to you, but I think we have similar interests on this part. I am interested in ensuring their safety and getting them out of Stanford's available reach.
And I just want to annoy the hell out of him.
Interesting. Because I think I've made contact with most of them. I told them as soon as this went down, I set out the word through Mallory and all the rest that Mallory was not in contact with. Yeah, he's great. I love the kid. I do. I may kill him one day, but
he does the best edges in DC.
Such a fucking... Anyway, it's Mallory. You just kind of get used to him being a little shit all the time. Told him, basically, get your people, go to ground. Told my contacts, get your people, go to ground. But that's not a permanent solution.
I would like to make the ground more permanently safe.
I would love that, because right now, it's basically people hiding out somewhere slightly different.
I would like to engage in extremely Toreador activities and open some very lowbrow entertainment centers. I also would like to take those and create space within them that someone might meet another kindred without being seen.
Okay. So, like, goth club,
Most of my scene.
And I'm amenable to all kinds of things. Hell, those nerdy gamer bars things are popular right now, and I'm not against them. Cosplay is popular. Who cares? It's a type of art.
all right, that could work. I mean, I have the contacts. That's what I can offer, is I can get people there.
Between the two of us, we have enough finances to make it happen. And as long as nobody is going to make too much of a fuss as we move on the turf and buy things, it's relatively simple. I also was going to suggest, if True was amenable to it, to pick up a very public dalliance to cover our activities.
You know, I mean, wouldn't bother me much.
Exactly. It's beneficial to both our careers. And...
You've already been on the bus.
Exactly, and I came off the bus, so...
Wait. No, I don't. You know what? I don't want details. I've decided I don't want any details.
I just don't particularly fancy having my activities scrutinized too closely. It's convenient.
And, I mean, I don't know how often you want Kindred here, but if you need it supplied properly. And you want to thumb your nose at the Succubus Club a little bit.
I mean, I do have this room basically for Archine and those in the know.
I'll stick my fingers in my ear, shall I?
I'm not opposed to a supply. We could work something out. My services are limited, but generally effective. And then she looks over at the Tortor and she's like, but not like that.
I'm not worried. I was actually pondering, because I know the thin blood population will have some concerns about just coming back and taking someone's word for it. I could offer small employment in these clubs too, so it was more of a official thing, rather than just me being, hey, I'm super big and important and you should trust me.
Yeah, actually, the bigger and more important you are in any kindred culture, the least you should trust them, as we've learned.
And it's devastating to me, but honestly, I do know how to pay people.
But yeah, that could work. Because, I mean, originally I was planning on bringing some here, but now I'm obviously going to be watched. Everything. Basically, I have to do business as usual, which is fine, get up, come to the bar, chill out, occasionally go hunting. Take Slinky out for a run in the woods every once in a while. I really wasn't doing a lot before then, so I'm doing a whole lot less now.
And actually, Locke, you mentioned being being watched. Your phone vibrated just now.
For fuck's sake.
It's a text. It's actually from Jack. And he says the boys out front said that there's some people watching again.
Would you like to... I mean, if you're being watched, would you like to very publicly throw us out?
He said different, and he put back different group than normal.
Different group than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I bet neither of you are sneaky, are you?
Quite the opposite.
And I'll be nice and roll here for Michelle real quick. You do know you have your people watching.
I mean, there's watchers and then there's watchers too.
Okay.
So are they your people?
I mean, and I'll text Lucian, are you watching Purgatory? Because they've noticed you.
Some of your crew, he replies back, are keeping an eye on it.
And
Were
she
they
goes,
caught?
Yes, they're blown, but... She's like, but I forgive them because I don't care.
I mean, honestly, as long as we know they're legit, I don't mind more eyes.
I will verify my eyes and have them put out a signal for you to know that they are my eyes currently. And then we can determine if there's anyone above and beyond what is mine. And I will come up with some sort of hand signal and text it.
Your people were made.
Okay.
The two eyes, the two smokers out front that apparently are lookouts for Locke right now. Yeah, they made your people.
It's just, you know what? It's a good security test.
It is, and I find it useful myself, so here we are.
All right. Okay, so we get a couple of clubs going. I start sending people there.
Mm-hmm.
I told as many as possible, it's like, maybe you should leave town, and a lot of them are just like, no, it's our home, we have to stay here. And I'm like, I lived in fucking LA for,
Not everyone is as comfortable leaving, and I mean, I say that as somebody who leaves frequently, but...
To be fair, I also had a spot wart falling on my head, and it made the decision real fucking easy.
And Michelle, your people didn't get the message. Because your people aren't living in DC, they're actually from outside DC, so they didn't get the go-to-ground message, because Locke has not been grabbing the ones out in the burbs, because frankly, good luck finding in the burbs.
There's really no contact. What were you saying, Don?
That as someone who has no home for the past 20, 30 years.
I mean, that was kind of me in LA. Like, I did a lot of couch surfing. I know you drive your couch around. But
I mean, it's a nice couch.
You know what? I bet it fucking is.
You can come check it out.
I would love to. I am a couch aficionado. But not that way. I don't need that river.
I mean, you get that as a Toreador, whether you want that room or not, so...
Notice that.
This bar actually reminds me of a little place on Bloor Street when we were, I was like 20, and dancers. You never have any money, you never have anything, but you get your drinks bought for you a lot. And
this place out in San Francisco I used to go to, had a lot of spoken word stuff going on, and it would really go over well here.
I believe Lily is actually planning on opening some sort of literary spoken word club herself. Though she's changed her name on me again, so I had to completely redo the entire branding scheme for her, so that's also a thing.
Yeah, I asked her what it was a cover for, and she got like, I don't think it's a cover for anything, which I find kind of weird. It seems like it'd be a pretty decent cover for Elite, but I guess it's just art. I don't know.
I mean,
you could do art and crime.
I do art performances for the sake of it too sometimes. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but when I was turned, it was about preserving art. It was about being able to do this forever and find more of it. And the more you go on down that path, the more political it gets, because artists are not particularly notorious for being able to protect themselves from anything. Yeah. So I still do dance, but I only do it randomly.
Have you met, what's her name? The other Toreador.
Angelique.
Only like 5. Angelique, yeah, she fucking dances.
Yeah, she does Russian ballet.
Yeah. I found some great videos on that because I looked it up, and it's crazy.
I met a bunch of people
5,000 on stage.
I don't know, my DC performance was sold out. I met a bunch of people. I remember them all. I remember Katerina and Natalie and Jack mainly.
Yeah, you met Angelique briefly, and the Markov brothers, Ivan and Grigori, briefly.
They're interesting. They're an interesting crew to know.
I would comment, but it's clan business.
Well, actually, just one of them's clan. The other two are Bruja and...
I thought DC didn't do Bruja, besides Jack.
Okay, look, if you kiss the ring, you're fine. And we have Bruja, and they've kissed the ring, and it's fine. There's just not enough... that's actually part of the problem in DC right now, is there's not enough kindred.
Which is actually an argument for keeping the Thin Bloods here, even though they're not properly kindred. And
so many.
And I would not say that to anyone I know in the Camarilla, but they're useful enough.
I've always found it kind of weird, like people being all down on the Thin Bloods, because it's like, oh no, they're a sign of the end times. It's like they're not causing the end times, they're a sign. It's like shooting the fire alarm because it's going off and not looking for the fire.
Weren't we the sign of the end times at one point, though?
Yeah, I know. Like, we were the sign of the end times at one point.
So with Steve,
That's what my sire told me.
Well, my sire told me good luck. You had one up on me.
she didn't even really say that.
They find me in a year and then she avoided me for 24.
Success.
I mean, my sire the opposite kind. The one who had a very specific goal and one who had very specific lessons. And then he fucked off to France. So...
There's nothing wrong with France.
No, of course not. I'm from Montreal.
Just way the fuck over there.
I'm from Harlem, but I was turned in the Battle of the Bulge.
I mean, we all have our stories, but in this particular case, I think we're all going to die if we don't figure out the way to protect what we have.
Well, the easiest way to protect what you have is to get rid of who's threatening it.
Agreed. But I'd like to defang him first.
I would just everyone be very careful about executing your own plans outside of protecting yourself and the people you want to protect. This is definitely put all of the people in all the fireproof bullshit that you can, because I would definitely watch out for your havens.
I've already contemplated that my PR firm was going to be firebombed because it will be considerably easier to do than to firebomb the Succubus Club.
That's why mine's on reels.
Yeah. And it's why I always have apartments like the one I sold the night I met you.
So yeah, I wouldn't take any direct actions.
I'm building clubs. I'm being very on brand.
You're being very on brand. Keep an ear to the ground. If there's ever a point where you probably need to just skedaddle for a day or two, actually have a quick exit ready.
Yes. And I think everybody who's in on this needs to have reciprocal agreements about the quick exit thing.
Anybody needs a ride.
Right. I mean, this will not
Especially the toughest person in DC and the best Toreador in DC.
Oh man, don't fucking hear me say that.
I need to put my fingers in my ears most of the time talking to you.
I am probably going to be riding this thing out to the bitter end.
I will ride it as
Don't wait for me to fill a couch.
I have a feeling that many people waited and many people were disappointed.
I have a vested interest in the fact that there are more Toreador here than a lot of things, and I will get them out.
All adventure I've met in this town are nuts.
Hey, don't you talk about Karina that way.
She's nuts.
Karina's not nuts. Karina is the best.
And it's Katarina.
No, Karina, not Kayako. Karina. Fuck, you probably haven't met Karina. No, you must have met Karina.
He met her briefly, but he's not really had any long discussions.
Farmer Senshaw. She's fucking tall.
Oh, okay. She was busy with the clipboard. I didn't really talk to
She's
her.
always busy. It's great. I love her. She can do anything.
I met the crazy guy from the nursing homes.
Oh, no. Him, he can fucking die.
The crazy guy who's holed up in his own house.
Yeah. Also fucking crazy. Also don't go visit. But no. Karina's baller. I love Karina. And yeah. Just, I think that, I like her.
I don't know, the best person I met, besides the two here, the other best person I met in this town, the Steve dude, and the doc.
I mean, I have a fondness.
Another day.
Not Ludlow, the other doc, the blood guy.
Oh, he's cool. He's sensei. We do a deal for blood every once in a while. It's cool. I take some leftovers if I can, because I don't mind it chunky.
I can't say anything. I have a fondness for my clan, whatever they are doing. So,
I mean, don't want to talk about fucked clans. Let me tell you about Gangrel in this city. We have Art, who's not a fucking Gangrel anymore. pretty much, because he's weird.
What happens
By
when
the
you
way,
get old?
avoid him at all costs.
There are several weird things here, and I am aware of several things that are more powerful than I would like to deal with that are not named.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had occasion to be in the presence of one of them.
Really?
Yes, and I don't particularly want to talk about the circumstances, but the eyes glowed gold.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. When that happens, don't just fucking leave.
Politeness was applied.
Yeah. Just rapid politeness towards the door.
Yes. I'm very fond of that answer myself, but not always possible.
I know. Trust me, I've been stuck in many situations where getting the fuck out would have been the best option and also not an option. So, just a warning, you see eyeballs just change, it's a bad sign. Just go.
It went before
if there's someone you don't particularly like next to you, just shove them at it and then leave. Because
I will say the person I was particularly focused on not liking at that time already had his own problems.
Has to be the way.
So let me know when you're done your conversation so that, you know.
I mean, just, you know, if anybody talks about this outside of here to someone else, Stanford will be the least of your worries.
Yes. I also have, since my watchers are here, I also thought I might send them into the bar after I leave, and you can meet my thin blood contacts and add them to your list.
Absolutely. So I'll make sure I meet them, Jack meets them. It'll be cool.
Excellent. Then I think True and I have a date tonight, and we should rather make a night of it, or be thrown out of your bar. One or the other.
Or
you know
both.
what? I don't want to make a scene. I'm not good at faking a scene. I don't mind this being like you just came in to, you know, show a historical Kindred DC spot, due respect. And you know what? Fucking everybody wants to slum it every once in a while, so.
True.
And Locke, you're used to having Kindred visitors. I mean, Tabitha comes over all the time. Norton pops in once in a while. You've even seen Ivan once or twice.
Do we have to count like the glassware and the silverware after Norton pops by?
No, none of it's valuable. He did eyeball the Viking jacket more than once, but even you're pretty sure he can't swipe that without being noticed.
I would be so impressed, honestly.
Well, then I think we have a bar hopping trip to.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's some good hot spots that I can get, that my name will get us into.
And I wouldn't say no to refreshments.
I mean, you should have said something on the bus.
Good, but it's so much more fun when there's people around to adore me.
So
you gotta hear him scream a little bit.
That's definitely how Locke operates, make him scream.
tend to elicit moans more than screams.
So this is where we'll end this scene with Natalie and Don going out, with Natalie and True Death going out, and Locke working on her thing about she's trying to learn to drink alcohol because Esmeralda told her it can be learned.
And yeah, not long after you all leave, she probably has to go back in the back alley and throw it up.
Throw it all
and
up.
Then stall it and try again.
Yep.
She's got a jug of cheap red that she's working on.
And the scene ends with the deal being made between these three Kindred of DC and Locke finding out that there's another person who may not know the DC Thin Bloods, but the ones in the outlying areas, which gives her even more. And Locke still has an event coming up soon. She'll be notified of the next rant gathering of the Thin Blood. So we will end this here, and thank you all for playing, of course.
Thank you for having me.
This was a scene they've been wanting to have. And now that, you know, they've all officially been to Purgatory, we'll see when next they appear in Purgatory, because Locke's doing her own little web now them out of purgatory. And the Vikings are proving to be handy, Bjorn's old gang, at least maintaining her haven for her.
Mm-hmm.
Or a haven. It's not her haven. It's just, I mean, it's her domain.
Yeah, her proper haven is elsewhere. She does not live in purgatory.
But she could sleep here at any point because, you know. But thank you all and good night.
Night.
Hope everyone enjoyed tonight's vignettes. If you want to talk with us about this episode or talk about any of the episodes or speak to the cast or crew of DC by Night, Black Death Chronicles, or even Ishvel, pop over to McStabber's Lounge. Its Discord link is right over there in the chat. If you'd like to see other great, role-playing game and Twitch content channels, look over at chat. We'll have a link there as well. If you want to support the channel, you can give us a follow. If you really want to support, of course, you can give us a subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link that to your Twitch account and do a free subscription every month. In the chat, we have a reminder that, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe there as well. If you want to watch our old content, pop over to YouTube, look at our video on demand. And for special announcements, this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Black Death Chronicles returning for Season 2. It has Tamshu as the storyteller for this chronicle, and it is a very dark but very great show. He has a great cast of people. It's amazing to watch, and we hope you're going to tune into that. And coming May 16th, Ishvel, along with the extremely talented Dungeon Master of Tess, is coming to McStabber Studios. It'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern every Saturday, and it's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We love Ishvel. It is an amazing story. It's funny at times, but it gets a little bit dark sometimes, but it's really an enjoyable show to watch, and we hope to see members of the McStabber Studios family there watching as well with us. Have a good night.